Good afternoon. Today we shall have quick revision of the previous topics which we have studied. So we have studied nutrition, photosynthesis, respiration, and now we shall have a quick look important points. So nutrition, intake of food material. So it is of two types: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. And the organisms which synthesize their own food materials are called autotrophs. The organisms which cannot synthesize their own food, they are called heterotrophs. And heterotrophs are of two types: herbivores and carnivores, which depend directly on plants like cow, rabbit, etc. And they are called herbivores. And the organisms which depend on other animals for their food, they are called carnivores like lion, tiger, wolf, etc. And this type of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, autotrophs and heterotrophs. And a saprophytic type of nutrition. Saprophytes means the organisms which depend on the dead parts of plants and animals. They are called saprophytes. They decompose the dead parts of plants and animals and they derive their nutrition. So they are called saprophytes or decomposers. Okay. And the type of nutrition is called saprophytic nutrition. And there is another type of nutrition, parasitic type of nutrition. Parasites means the organisms which live outside the body of the organism and inside the body organism, they get food and shelter from the host. So that type of nutrition is called parasitic type of nutrition. So parasites, external parasites like leech, ticks, lice, etc. They live outside the body of the organism and they get their food. And internal parasites means the organisms which live inside the body of the organism, they get shelter and food from the host. They are called internal parasites. The type of nutrition is called internal parasitic type of nutrition like bacteria, tapeworms, roundworms, etc. Okay, so these are important types of nutrition. And the metabolic activities which are taking place in the living organisms are called anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism is a constructive reaction. Small molecules are joining together to form larger molecules like photosynthesis. Catabolism means destructive reaction where large molecules are broken down into smaller molecules. So that is example for catabolism is respiration. And bolus and chyme. What is bolus? In the process of digestion, the partially digested food in the mouth is called bolus. And in the same way, the partially digested food in the stomach is called as chyme. And respiration is of two types: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen and which takes place in all higher organisms. Anaerobic respiration takes place in microorganisms. Okay, differences between aerobic and anaerobic respirations I have already told you. So like aerobic respiration, glycolysis is followed by Krebs cycle. Anaerobic respiration, glycolysis is followed by fermentation. And a large amount of energy is released in aerobic respiration. Smaller amount of energy is released in anaerobic respiration. Carbon dioxide and water are the end products of aerobic respiration. And ethyl alcohol or ethanol in the muscle cells, lactic acid and carbon dioxide are the end products of anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration takes place in higher organisms and anaerobic respiration takes place in microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. Okay, so that is the differences between aerobic and anaerobic respirations, and there are similarities among aerobic and anaerobic respirations. Like aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration, both will take place in the living organisms. Energy is released in both the processes. Carbon dioxide is released in both the processes. Cytoplasm is common in both the respirations. So these are the similarities, and there are differences also. And in the same way, one important thing, differences between photosynthesis and respiration. Can you make out the difference between photosynthesis and respiration? So let us see. Photosynthesis is an anabolic process. Respiration is a catabolic process. In photosynthesis, energy is stored. In respiration, energy is released. Photosynthesis takes place during daytime. Respiration takes place throughout the day. That means it independent of light. It is light dependent reaction. It is independent of light. Okay, so photosynthesis takes place in green plants and photosynthetic bacteria. Respiration takes place in all the living organisms. And photosynthesis takes place in chloroplast of the cell. Respiration takes place majority part of respiration takes place in mitochondria. And so during photosynthesis, weight of the organism increases, and during respiration, weight of the organism decreases. Energy is stored in photosynthesis, energy is released in respiration. So these are the major differences between photosynthesis and respiration. And again, coming to the respiration takes place in two steps: inspiration and expiration. Inspiration is also called as inhalation. Expiration is also called as exhalation. So during inspiration or inhalation, air containing oxygen enters into the body. During exhalation, air containing most of carbon dioxide is released from the body. During inspiration, the thoracic cavity volume increases, and during expiration the thoracic cavity volume decreases. So lungs will expand during inspiration, lungs will contract during expiration. In inspiration, lungs will expand. During expiration, lungs will contract. And so here in respiration, alveoli take in oxygen and give out in expiration, that means air containing oxygen enters into the alveoli. During expiration, alveoli release the carbon dioxide into the blood. Okay, so these are the major differences between inspiration and expiration. And again, xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem are the transport tissue in the plants. So xylem transports water and minerals from the roots to the leaves of the plant where photosynthesis will take place, and phloem transports synthesized food material from leaves to various parts of the plant. So xylem contains xylem vessels, tracheids, xylem sclerenchyma, xylem parenchyma, all these things, and it gives mechanical support to the plant. And phloem contains phloem parenchyma, vessels, and also companion cells. It doesn't give much support, mechanical support to the plant. And xylem, the flow in xylem is unidirectional. That means it goes from roots to the leaves. But phloem transports the food material from leaves to different parts. That means multidirectional. Different parts of the plant, the food is supplied. So in this way, we can find the basic things which we have learned in the previous chapters. Okay, I hope you have understood. So if you have any doubts, please express your doubts, and let me try to clarify your doubts. Okay, thank you.